Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schutzer. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you a few of my recipes for a homemade hot sauce. The hot sauce that we're going to be making will be done through lacto fermentation. Garlic, water, salt, and peppers. Gets no easier. Mother Nature will take care of the rest. So join me now and see how wonderful this sauce can be. The first thing I like to do is set up my brine. I'll take 8 cups of distilled water. Probably the most critical thing with making fermented vegetables or products is you don't want water from the tap simply because it has chlorine. Chlorine destroys all the good bacteria and never allows the good bacteria to grow. So we're going to use a distilled water. I also heat it up a little bit. The reason is it'll dissolve the salt faster. So with 8 cups of distilled water, and I have 6 tablespoons of real salt from the salt beds of Utah. It's a sea salt. I'll stir that around a little bit. I'm gonna do a habanero sauce where I have also a yellow bell pepper to go with it, just to help give it some body and also not make it insane spicy. We have red jalapenos, and also for a green one we have green jalapeno. I have some serranos, and I have some wonderful Thai chilies. So first thing with that is we wash these already so they're ready to be cleaned. Make certain you use gloves too, by the way. Simply just cut off the top, and then I'm just going to drop it right back there. Well, cut it in half lengthwise, I should say. Now that we have our chilies cleaned and cut, we're ready for putting into the jars. So right here I have my salt brine. What I like to do is pour a little bit into the jar to get it started. Then I will add my garlic. I usually go about 3 cloves per jar, 4 cloves. Now we'll start with our habanero. Some key points to when fermenting. In this case, you want to make certain that you're using ripe chilies because the fermentation process will actually bring out or enhance bitterness. So the riper the chili, the sweeter it's going to be and the less bitter it's going to taste at the end result. Take our the next thing I do is I will take a weight, press that on there, and that makes certain that it's done. I will put our little burper lid on there. Excuse me. And what this nice lid does is it has a pinhole at the top. Every single day you just squeeze it like this, it opens up and it burps it. If you were to use just a regular airtight lid or whatnot, you would physically have to open it every day and pop it open to break the seal, let the air out, and then put it back on, because this will begin fermentation and carbon dioxide will be created. Next we'll go with our red jalapeno. Also, as I previously mentioned, you want to make certain that you're using unfiltered dechlorinated water, as the chlorine will have an adverse effect on the fermentation process. Now we have our peppers in the brine. Fermentation will begin, and we will let this, I'll put dates on there. We will let this ferment for 2 weeks. Well, our 2 weeks have passed, and waking up this morning, only one thing on my mind: my fermented peppers and the hot sauce. I guess to begin with, I would recommend doing this in a well-vented area. Agnes had given me some grief because the entire house smelled like hot sauce. Just why not puree it? Yeah, it is what it is. Let's begin with straining our liquid from the pepper. The smell on this, by the way, is fantastic. Oh. And we will take out our weight. And I'll just pour the peppers into the variable speed blender. Start on slow speed. And there's our consistency. I may run it a little more just to get it just a little smoother. Okay, now that we have the consistency that I like, it still obviously is a little sloshy because of the water that is in there. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna add our Guar Gum. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with about 1/4 teaspoon. And this is just under 1 quart of liquid and product. We're looking at about 28 ounces or so. And you see how it's giving a little nappe to the back of the spoon. I like this. So we have the consistency we're looking for. And let's take it to our jar. Right now, this consistency, I would compare it to probably a happy medium between something like Frank's Red Hot and sriracha. It has the little chunkiness like sriracha, you know, the texture in it, but yet it has the fluidity of the Frank's Red Hot. So this is our red jalapeno. Next, we're going with our habanero. And the exact same process. We will strain it, puree, add our liquid, go from there. And now our taste test on this. Oh yeah. Ooh. It's hot. Habanero. It's hot. So now we'll take it to our jar. Well, there you have our fermented hot pepper sauce. Quite honestly, you make this, you will not want to buy a hot sauce from the store again. I can assure you. It's very easy to make, it just takes a little time. Again, we have our red jalapeno, which would be mild, medium sauce. And the fermentation actually pulls more heat out of it, so it's going to be a little hotter than a regular, normal jalapeno, just so you know. I have the jalapeno with serrano and Thai chili. That one's going to be a little hotter than this one. As you can see, I went back through and I added the Guar Gum to it. I just wanted to keep it from separating, that's all. The next time I make this, I probably will strain it from the pulp and just have basically a spicy brine. The water there itself is probably what I'm going to do next time, just to test it to see how much I like it. And then our hot one, we have our habanero. I score some Ghost. I'll probably do that on the next one and just make one that's like super, super hot. Storage, you'll want to store these in a refrigerator because they are fermented. You could can these. I could put these into the processor and pressure can them. Not going to, because we're gonna eat these relatively quickly. I would say you can get about a month or two out of them in the refrigerator, or maybe even longer, if you make certain that you pour in clean utensils, not putting your finger into it, you know, things like that. So I got mine ready pull some off to the side right now. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this and hope to get some feedback, you know, that you guys are making this. Feel free to leave some comments and requests below, and recipe will follow. Thank you for joining me. Yo,